Welcome to new e-procurement website walkthrough developed for CPWD. This tutorial is intended to guide the user through the e-tendering process. Log in into the application by giving your login credentials and click on Login. Select your sign-in certificate mapped against the login credentials. Click on Register. For successful authentication, the user will be directed to the department dashboard. For any new tender to be created, click on Create New Tender link available in dashboard. Tender creation page. In this application, a tooltip is provided for the users for the fields. This tooltip can be accessed by placing the cursor over the icon provided. Let's begin with the tender creation. First field for the tender creation is NIT or RFP number. In this field, fill in the NIT number. Next, name of work. Give a brief description for which the tender is being called for. Next, sub-work or packages. If the user intends to provide any additional information regarding the tender, can be provided in this field. This field is not mandatory, so the user can proceed without giving any input. Next, tender type. User is provided with two options, open and limited. If the user intends to publish the tender to all the vendors available in CPWD, select option open. If the user intends to publish the tender only for the selected vendors, then the select option limited. Next, competitive bidding type. Here also, the user is provided with two options, NCB and ICB. NCB abbreviated for National Competitive Bidding and ICB abbreviated for International Competitive Bidding. Next is category of tender. Select the category for which the tender is being called for. Next is procurement type. In here, three options are provided, works, goods and services. Select accordingly for the tender call. Next is bid type. Select bid type as percentage, item rate, EPC and EOI. EOI abbreviated for expression of interest. If the option EOI is selected, then the tender will be published for two-stage bidding. Next is bid type. Select bid type as percentage, item rate, EPC and EOI. EOI abbreviated for expression of interest. If the option EOI is selected, then the tender will be published for two-stage bidding. Two-stage bidding. In this, the bids are received in two stages. That is, in the first stage, the vendor submits eligibility and technical bids. Vendors qualified in eligibility bid will be able to participate for technical bid submission. Vendors qualified in technical bid will be able to participate in the financial bid submission. Two-stage tenders can only be published for two-bid and three-bid system. Next is type of work. Select the type of work for which the tender is being called for. Next is time allowed. In this field, mention the time provided to the vendor to execute the work. And here, user is provided with the option to select the time interval as days, weeks, month and year. Next is estimated cost. Enter the value of the tender. Next is providing dates for tender. Last date and time of receipt of pre-bid queries. As the name suggests, provide the closing date and time for pre-bid queries clarification. Next, receipt of queries through. In this application, user is provided with two modes of queries. One is interface and other is through email. Next, pre-bid meeting. If the user selects the option yes, then provide the date and time for pre-bid meeting along with the venue. Next is bid submission closing date and time. Provide the closing date and time for submission of bid. Moving further, providing tender opening dates. In this section, user is provided with an option to mention the bid opening dates. For example, if the user selects pre-bid system, then the user need to provide the opening dates for eligibility bid opening date and time, technical bid opening date and time, and financial bid opening date and time. For single bid system, it is mandatory to mention the financial bid opening date and time. But for 2 bid and 3 bid system, it is not mandatory to mention the opening date for financial bid as it can be mentioned later at the evaluation stage. After successfully providing all the mandatory data, click on Save and Continue. A tender ID will be generated. Next, copy option is provided to copy details from the previous tender, or he can continue with tender creation by clicking on Skip Copy option. If the user intends to copy details from previous tender, then following options are available to copy tender details. EMD details, mandatory document details, eligibility document details, bid openness. User can select the option as required and click on Copy Data option to continue with the process. Next is Tender Dashboard. Here, user should fill all the fields chronologically. Further, all the fields are color coded as the fields are filled highlighted in green indicating the field status. Fill EMD credentials. Provide details of EMD such as EMD amount, in favor of, and mode of payment. Click on Save button. Next is Upload Tender Documents. Here, upload the document related to tender such as NIT documents and give a description for the file being attached. User is also provided with the size and extensions allowed to upload the document. Below, user can view the list of uploaded documents. Next is Mandatory Documents. In here, provide the details of the documents which are needed for the vendor. Click on Save button. User can select from the predefined list or he can add any new document details in accordance to the tender called for. Next is covers. Here, options are displayed in accordance to the selections in NIT creation page. For eligibility cover, select document needed from the vendor to evaluate in bid evaluation stage. User can select from the predefined list as he or he can add upload any new document details or any document is accordance to the tender called for. For technical bid cover, mention the document needed from the vendor to evaluate in bid evaluation stage. Here also, user can add, upload any new document details or any document in accordance to the tender called for. Financial bid cover. Here, user can download the cost template from the list of templates according to the bid evaluation type provided in this page. Fill in the mandatory details in the cost template and upload. Page. Fill in the mandatory details in the cost template and upload. User can only upload the cost template downloaded from the application as it will be mapped for the tender ID and NIT. Next is selection of bid openers. Here, user can select the bid opener from the tender. The tender publisher will be the default bid opener. User need to select one more bid opener to continue with process. Next is edit tender details. In here, user can edit any details previous entered in the NIT creation page. Next is tender consolidated view. In here, the user can view the entire tender details in a single view page. After filling all the mandatory fields, user can publish the tender by clicking the Publish Tender option. Tender is published successfully.